Hey guys, what's going on? So Josh here. We're going to do a kind of a different format to this week for the Let's Talk segment. Um, got a buddy of mine from the Crash Zero. If you don't follow him on YouTube or all of his social medias, I'm going to let him kind of introduce himself and do his thing here, and that way you'll know where to go. So Crash, the floor is yours, my brother.
So I'm a content creator, and I like to vlog my life, theme parks, different outlets. I use TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and on YouTube I like posting longer form of content like vlogs,
Mm-hmm.
so people can connect with me more than just seeing a 5 second video on TikTok or a short on Instagram.
Right.
So I like documenting my daily life, kind of like a video photo album with my kids sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I love sharing off my adventures with everybody and giving people tips on theme parks and kind of posting updates and stuff like that.
For sure. And yeah, and like I said, if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It's fun and it's real. I mean, it's all the way down to grocery store reviews of cereals. So it's real life, guys. Come on, we're not just doing theme parks here. It's real life. So okay, so I'll start by just kind of asking you because I no longer am a magic key holder at Disneyland. I let my
Okay.
key lapse in 2021, and they resold the keys one time, and I missed that window by a large margin. So I haven't been to Disneyland in a few years, but I know you just went to the Lunar New Year celebration. How was that, brother?
Yes. It was fun. It was very crowded. You know, the Disney crowds were there.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they have like, a lot of variety of foods.
Mhm.
Um, DCA has one thing about DCA and Disneyland is DCA has first options of ingredients. So that's why their foods are more experimental than Disney. Disney's always the same stuff. So the
Mhm.
chefs at DCA have more stuff to play with and they have more ingredients to play with because they get first dibs. And Disney kind of gets like the leftovers and whatever else they can and cannot use.
Right.
And it's the Luna Festival itself. The badge of the food court is like $42. Well, if you have like a pass, you get it for like 41. I think it is like you get like 20% off.
Mhm.
And they made the tab smaller. The Christmas one they had last year was 10, I believe, and the Luna last year. No, the one before was 8, and the Luna last year was 10. So now it's down to 6,
Okay.
and that's more digital. So there's no more tabs, which
Right.
is kind of easier. Everything's going digital anyways.
Yeah.
And
I guess it's the
some
times.
just yeah, that too. And the portions are always small. You know, they always keep the
Yeah.
portions really, really small. You can buy them individually for like $7. I believe it breaks down to like 7.20 per item. But you know, do you want to buy one egg roll for 7.20? I don't know. You can get a pickle for $5 or a churro for $5. So I don't know if I'm gonna buy one egg roll for 7.20.
Yeah. At that point, you're just
But
buying the experience more than the food.
exactly, that's what it is. Yeah, and it's best to go early in the morning, afternoon. If you get there at night and you go like at 5 o'clock, you're
Yeah.
gonna get the leftover stuff and you're gonna get the cold stuff. So a lot of the times
Oof.
the foods don't taste as good as they do as the morning and afternoon.
And they're still in the little booths that kind of go along the outside of Pixar Pier, right? Like where
That's
Little
correct.
Mermaid
Yeah.
and stuff is. It's all just the little booths
Yes.
there. So
Yeah.
that
All the
stuff all
booths
has
go
to
all the
get
way.
wheeled. They don't have kitchens in those. So they make them off
Yeah.
site and then wheel them in.
Wheel them in. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of that is. Did you go to Disney at all? The actual Magic Kingdom?
I mean, Florida or just
No, no, no,
Disneyland
no,
in
no. Just
general.
Magic Kingdom. Like, because I know you were at DCA for Looney, but did you
Oh,
go across to the other park at all?
I did. Disneyland is right now. It's down season, so there's a lot of construction. You
Yeah.
got Haunted Mansion down. You got Small World down. Indiana Jones breaks down every like 20 minutes.
Still, that'll never change. That will never
Yeah,
change.
that'll never
That's just
change.
part of the charm there.
So
It's an exclusive ride if you can get on there during a visit.
yeah, you gotta get there like, first, like rope drop. That's it.
Yeah,
You know, rope drop like that's one of the rides you have to get on because that ride breaks down so much
I
and
know.
it's sad. So, but there's a lot of stuff going on as well. The one I always forget the name of the ride, the one with the rockets before you get into Tomorrowland.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
down for
I know what you're talking
construction.
about. Are they actually
Yeah,
going to
I would say
make that
with
look like the concept art this time? I know they have the walls up with the concept art, and they did that last time too, and it just ended up being the same Astro gliders that it was before.
It's right. I don't know. It's interesting because I don't think they want to spend too much money on refurbishing it, because when they get to Tomorrowland, they're going to redo that whole area.
That's
the whole people movers, like rails, are still there. They can't do nothing with it. They got to pretty much knock it down. And so there's no point in paying a lot of money to re-upping this when you're probably going to tear it down to match whatever's going to be behind that anyway. So
right,
probably in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's so weird.
So it could be interesting.
Disneyland is in such like it's on such a different plane. Like it's such a different ball field. Like it's in a completely different world, just because the amount of progression that goes on in that park all the time. Like there's always some kind of big project going. And now with like Disneyland Forward, like they just announced like how much money they're going to be spending for a whole new thing. They're buying up roads that go to the park itself, for the tram route. And so it's insane, dude. The amount of stuff that they can do with the little amount of room that they have there, just kind of tucked back away in that corner. It's kind of unbelievable, man. Like
they have all that whole parking lot over there when you walk into downtown Disney by the Pixar Pier, I think it is. Pixar Hotel.
That's why I thought that's where they were going to put Disneyland Forward, but they're talking about the Toy Story parking lot now, right?
Yeah, talking about that one too. That's what they're thinking, because they're using the parking lot for Pixar Pier, and then also talking about the Toy Story parking lot, which I hope not, because that's like one of the places I go and park because it's easier to access rather than spending a whole hour on the tram.
We always took the tram because the kids love the tram, but it can be a little bit chaotic there.
It can be, yeah. And people fight. It's weird. People like fighting that tram.
Oh my god!
Like I don't see any fighting on the bus, but it's always on the tram.
It's backwards. Like, you go to New York, you're always going to get fighting on the bus. If you go to Disneyland, there's no fighting on the bus. It all takes place on the tram.
Go to downtown LA. You see
very mad. Yeah, exactly. all you got to do is just look outside your window. You'll find fighting on the buses out there. Oh man, that's the world we live in.
It's funny that you talk about the expansion with Disney. Disney did theirs last week, and Universal dropped their bomb today. And
did you see that?
It looks more promising and amazing than Disney's, and they gave us a date. They said 2025.
2025.
Coming soon.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do you remember? I don't remember which D23 it was, but they announced. I think it was Disneyland Japan, where they were doing that beyond the mountainside land. It was like going to be on the other side of the frozen mountain there, and they were doing a whole new world back there, and people were like speculating all kinds of different stuff. That's what this drop of Epic Universe reminded me of. It's just like, holy crap. And the thing is this is so much more real because they've been working on it for so long now that it's like, whoa, this is what you're going to see now. And it's like Universal's coming for that crown, dude.
They are.
They're not messing around.
And they have the space out there so they can do what they want. And you know that Super Mario World is going to be way bigger than what we have here. It's not going to be like so small and crowded. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Over there, it's going to be like epic and big.
It's going to be epic, crazy. Like the universe. They're going to have a whole, Donkey Kong and Zelda probably, and Metroid eventually. And they can,
because
they can do all that stuff. It's endless. And then just, a big Super Bash Brothers ride or experience or something. Who knows?
I can only imagine. It's what they're promising with the whole, everything they have there, the monsters, the Dark Universe, they have that, the Harry Potter world, that's going to be epic too. That's
huge. They've already got with that Haggard's motorbike ride. It's one of the coolest rides I've ever seen. Yeah, that ride is so. I have yet to. I've never been to any of the Florida parks, but I've watched my fair share of videos at night trying to fall asleep and fighting my insomnia. I probably shouldn't be watching like roller coaster and theme park vlogs and videos and ride POVs and stuff. That's what I do because it just gets my heart going, and it's the opposite of what I want happening. But man, between that and that Jurassic Park ride, I believe in Universal Hong Kong.
Oh, the Raptor coaster.
Not the Raptor coaster. No. It's an actual Jurassic Park ride where the T-Rex chases you. Is it Japan or China? It's Japan, one of those two. Yeah, that's unreal, dude. Like
right?
it's cool. Like, I mean, granted, they all have like private funding and stuff, so they have billions of dollars to do whatever they want. And then our Universal Studios struggles to keep an Indominus Rex working for 3 weeks at a time. I was so bummed. I went because I hadn't been to Universal in a long time either, and they took me again for my birthday on Sunday. It was my first time back in almost 2 years, and I could not wait to show the Indominus to my kids because I went for horror nights. Me and Andrea went, and it was the first time I'd seen the Indominus, and I was so excited, dude. And I could not wait to show the kids. And we went up there and behind a curtain already. I'm like, dang, that didn't take long, man.
Yeah,
that kind of sucks.
Dude, that's like their Indiana Jones ride over there.
It really is.
At Universal Studios.
It really
every park has it. Yeah, every park has that one ride that breaks down. Not wrong, Fairy Tales. Fairy Tales used to break down all the time.
And Fairy Tales, even when it's working, shouldn't be. Man, I tell you, because even when Fairy Tales is at full strength, it's like, okay, I'm pointing this little mason jar right at this coyote pup, and it's shooting in the far left corner.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. So all right. So we'll speaking of Fairy Tales, we'll go ahead and we'll transition over to the big topic that I think our worlds kind of overlap the most with Knott's Berry Farm. And I'm sure you've done the peanut celebration already. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I was there day one. Yeah.
Did you, so you went Friday. Was it crazy?
No, it was actually Saturday.
Saturday
on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Well, the 27th. That's right. My bad. That's right.
And it's weird because it's only a weekend thing. It's only Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
And there's no shows Monday through Thursday.
Nope. I called it because I went yesterday and then I went today for a little bit, and I was just calling it Peanut Celebration Light because they still have like the pig pen is still open, so you can see the little piggies. Mm-hmm. And they still have all of like obviously the cavalcade and the shows aren't playing, but they still have all the meet and greets and stuff like they normally do. They normally have a lot of the meet and greets, but Franklin is still there, so you can still do the meet and greet with him, and they still have all the food and stuff. So I don't know. Did you try anything food wise?
I tried I wanted to try the pulled pork mac and cheese and the cone, but I didn't get any mac and cheese.
Oh, is that what happened? So I saw that video of you, and was it your daughter that was with you?
Yeah, my daughter was with me, and a friend of mine was with me. My girlfriend was with me, and there was no mac and cheese.
So they just gave you the cone with the chicken or the pulled pork on the bottom?
Yeah, that was it. It was filled with pulled pork. That was it. The whole thing. That's why the mac and cheese was in the bottom, but there was no mac and cheese.
Dude, how would they even fit any mac and cheese under there? The cone was like empty when you showed the video. Like I was like, I had to play it on mute. I couldn't hear what you were saying. But I was like, what is happening? Because when you showed it, I was like, did they put like wood shavings at the bottom of this or something? And then your daughter starts kind of like playing with the fork. I was like, oh, I thought it was chicken. I was like, that's the meat that goes at the bottom. I was like,
that's the meat.
So
yes.
But then I noticed how clean the cone was. I was like, did he just demolish all of that mac and cheese on there? Okay, so that's what it was. There was just no mac. They just gave you the cone and
no mac and cheese.
Pork. Did they tell you that there was no mac and cheese? And they were just like, sorry.
No, they didn't tell me. No, they didn't say anything. I didn't notice it until I figured, okay, mac and cheese might be in the bottom of the pulled pork. Because over at Radio Springs and DCA, they have did the same thing. I think last year. So okay, might be covered with the pulled pork, but nothing.
Just
to the bottom.
Here's all your pulled pork. We got to get rid of this. Please eat all of our pulled pork.
Pretty much. I was like, okay.
The mac and cheese celebration with no mac and cheese.
No mac and cheese, yeah. But a lot of stuff too, like the food card, it didn't impress me. Like I wasn't really keen on trying the whole funnel cake with mac and cheese.
Yeah.
The cheeseburger with mac and cheese. Mm-hmm. That's probably the only thing I wanted to try. But that pancakes and mac and cheese, I mean, I like experimental, but that's too much. I
was going to say, like, I had my morbid curiosity is making me want to do it. We had two things today, and nothing was like, it was nothing crazy. We had the pinwheel pasta, the mac and cheese pinwheel thing over at Prop Shop.
Okay.
And it was fine. There was no cheese in the mac, but it was like a bread bowl and with pasta in it. We had to basically dip it in Alfredo sauce to get any flavor, really. I mean, it was fine for what it filled us up.
Right.
But it was really nothing special. And then we had the mac and cheese burger, which if you've ever had a cheeseburger, just imagine you put mac and cheese in it, and Thousand Island. That's what it was. I mean, I get that this. I mean, they're not going for Michelin stars with any of this,
right? Right.
This is all for kids, and I'm sure kids absolutely would love this.
I think so. That's what I believe. What it's aimed towards.
Yeah,
definitely kids, because kids love mac and cheese, and
I applaud that.
People,
I actually like that. I like that they're just like, let's just be wacky and put mac and cheese on everything. Kids will have a blast with that. I like that because we get Boysenberry Festival and Summer Nights and Scary Farm and Merry Farm. We get foods year round from Knott's. That's really the sweet spot. So it's just this one time a year, that they don't have to take themselves too seriously and just get kind of wacky. And we don't have to eat it. It's for the kids.
Yeah, because like when Boysenberry Festival happens, everything has boysenberry, so that kind of makes sense. But exactly. I kind of figured it had to be aimed towards kids because they like mac and cheese.
And if you're going to aim,
I mentioned.
Go ahead.
Oh, when you're alive at Knott's, and I mentioned this is definitely not lactose friendly. So if you're lactose tolerant, this is not a festival you want to go eat because it's not. Yeah, I didn't see anything non-lactose mac and cheese.
I don't think. I don't think there is any lactose-free mac and cheese there.
Yeah, so it's not someplace for people who are lactose intolerant. They're not going to appreciate no variety.
Right.
But you have other restaurants there. You got Panda, you got Miss Knott's Chicken,
Johnny Rockets.
You got Warner's Brothers. Yeah, Johnny Rockets. Yeah, Warner's Brothers selling hot dogs.
Yeah.
So there's still a variety. I don't know why, but yeah, you still have a variety of stuff there to try if you don't like the mac and cheese.
There's plenty, and that's something that it's kind of cool because there are a lot of Knott's pass holders that go just to eat the food. Like they'll go, I just went to Knott's just to have dinner. I mean, that's how good the food is. I mean, there's not a lot of theme parks that you can say that about. Some theme parks have like one or two kind of cool things, but Knott's kind of they nail it on most accounts with their food.
Oh yeah. When you go to Knott's with that meal plan, which is perfect, or the drink plan, you have a choice. What do you want? You want Chinese? You want barbecue? You want a burger? You want chicken? You want chicken nuggets? You want your burger fried, broiled? I mean, there's you want your what do you call it? The bread bowl. I mean, they have
over at Miners,
and then you want dessert. And then
let's not even get started on
if you have
desserts.
that advanced drink plan, you have your 15-minute refill of coffee or hot chocolate or
a slushy. Yeah, and it's it's super like cheap, like it's totally doable. Like it works really well. So speaking of you being on the talking when I was on the live yesterday, you said that you had a theory on why you think the crowds are kind of not really dissipating at Knott's, even though it's kind of a slow season. And I went today and it wasn't really crazy. But it has been noticeable that the crowds aren't gone. Like it's not really crowds per se, but there's noticeably more people this year than there was last year.
Yes. Well, one of it is what you nailed. I mean, you have the meal plan. If you have the meal plan, people come to have lunch. You can watch a couple of shows. There's no reservations. Yeah. So you can come, and it's like pretty much your playground.
Yep.
I remember last year, I would see kids there on the phones with the parents, and they would wait there until the parents got home, and then they went home. But they had the meal plan, and they would go and get food until the parents got home.
Like a babysitter.
Yeah, that's where I became a babysitter. But another thing too, which I made a video. I recorded like 40 videos when I was at the mall, and I posted this morning. And I talked about another thing too is that Knott's finally got the chaperone policy down. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure you remember 2 years ago, Knott's Berry Farm was like pretty much Fight Club. Everybody went to go fight and post on TikTok. No, there were like TikTok meetups. They go meet here at this time. This is where we'll fight, and that's what it was. And now you don't see any of that stuff. They finally got it down to where you don't really see any fights.
And they got roasted
more fights
for that.
At Disney. Oh, they did. Oh, yeah, they totally did. And whatever security changes they did, now it's more of a family environment. So families are coming back. They're bringing the kids back. And plus there's no reservations. So that's why I think one of the reasons why Knott's is getting more crowded because it's safe to come back.
Yeah.
A lot of the Edgars are gone.
Yeah, that's true, and it's good to see, man. That's really good to see.
It is.
Because I think Knott's deserves that kind of prestige.
Yes.
I know Magic Mountain got that, they still do kind of get,
They still do.
and for good reason, I guess. You go up there and sometimes it's not really the best crowds that you see running around the park, but it's still an amusement park. It's still a theme park, and it's going to attract what it's going to attract. And sometimes, when you get big groups of people, teenagers that are just hopped up on, testosterone or, whatever it is that fuels kids these days. That's just kind of what happens. You get, little alpha egos and small, tight spaces. And
but people also blame the fact that the prices. Six Flags is probably the cheapest park there is, and then there's Knott's, and then there's Universal, and then there's Disney. Disney's so expensive. Yeah. But I always thought people, Disney's expensive. They want that certain type of crowd, but yet people still fight at Disney. You go online, you see more fights at Disney than you see at even at Six Flags.
It's true. Or Universal. I never see stuff like that at Universal, really.
No, you don't see any of that at Universal. Because Universal is like it's more of the area. People who have money and they go just because they have money and they live in that area. And
that's true.
You can see it around people, and just kind of they feel like they own the park. That's the only thing you got at Universal.
Yeah, it's true.
They feel like it's their park. They own it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, man.
Yeah.
It's all about demographics.
It is.
Okay, so you also got the Prestige Pass.
Yeah.
So how different is it having that? Like, how much, just like the park experience, like being able to go into the your own entrance there at the front of the gate? Because I know now that they open at 11 on weekdays, that front gate gets pretty slammed for like the first half hour or so. But if you have the Prestige Pass, you just walk right in your own entrance there. So I know that's nice.
And
then you have access
to the VIP
stuff.
That entrance is only open though for 2 hours.
So it's the first 2 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you really don't need it the rest of the day. The gates are pretty empty after the first 2 hours anyway. So
that's true. Yeah.
And then you get the VIP lounge.
The VIP lounge, right? Yeah, the parking lot over where the preferred parking. You got to use the Prestige parking pass there. So the only bad thing, the preferred parking where you pay the $50 for the parking, right across from the hotel.
Yeah.
That's where the Prestige parking. You get free parking with the Prestige pass.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to, right before it became the Prestige parking, that's where we used to park in the morning because that's where they would funnel everybody. And then they changed it like overnight, and now it's what it is.
Now it's back to the Prestige thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And the only downside about that parking lot is that a lot of homeless hang out at that Save-On or Rite Aid across the street.
Yeah.
They kind of like wander in sometimes.
Yeah, because it's open. There's really there's fencing along Beach, but there's nothing along Crescent, so they can just kind of wander in.
No. Yes.
That's
the only downfall.
That's something that I actually, and if you're paying for, because it's honestly not any closer to the front gates either. So I never saw the real upside of paying $50 to park there. Other than if you're gonna pay $50, you should probably at least have like a roving security guard. It's not, it's not a huge parking lot. So you have the little, they have the not security thing over in the main parking.
They do.
The SUV. So just have one and
over in that parking lot.
And just wrap the fence around Crescent also. Do what you can to try to keep I was watching it was Buena Park police videos the other day, and they have drones that kind of hover over the Knott's parking lot. So, and there's so many videos, and this is kind of a public service announcement to everybody that's going to Knott's. Make sure that you have your doors locked when you leave your car in that parking lot. Yes, there is technically security there, and Buena Park PD does hang out in that parking lot, but there are people that will just wander around looking for open doors. And to be quite honest, they don't look suspicious at first glance. Like, this is somebody that you have to be like, okay, I'm going to follow this guy and see what he's up to. You have to kind of dedicate yourself to one person. But that's a big thing that's been happening at Knott's is you just have to make sure that your doors are locked because that's happened a lot. And it kind of sucks, to have that, when you pay $30 to park your car somewhere, you expect it to be safe. And I really wish Knott's would do something as far as like surveillance cameras, kind of how Disney does
in the parking lot.
No, they don't have anything. They have the SUV that kind of rolls around and
drives around.
And I don't know how much that's deterring people because, like I was saying, it's people they'll just nonchalantly just walk through the cars and just check the doors real quick, And car alarms don't really draw much attention anymore from people. If people hear a car alarm, they just like assume that somebody's trying to find their car in the parking lot. So it's not really going to draw any attention and scare any would-be burglars away,
That's true. Yes.
But that's another thing. Anyway, so back to the Prestige Pass.
One quick note about the parking thing.
Of course.
It's funny because Disney has preferred parking too, but their preferred parking for $50 is over in Toy Story, and you still have to take the bus. So you get like the front section of Toy Story where the buses are at.
Okay.
It's like, wait a minute, why am I paying $50? The park's still way over there, and I can just walk like 50 feet to my car over here and pay. Well, I have the Magic Key once I get free parking, but if I did pay for parking, like $30, which is 50 feet away, that don't make any sense. And with Knott's, their preferred parking is down the street as well.
Yeah.
And the only park that has the Prestige or the preferred parking down is Universal Studios.
Yep.
Because when you get that preferred parking, it's right there. As soon as you get off, the gate's right there.
Yep.
Yes. There are only the smart ones that have it down.
Yeah, and it's worth it too. That could be a crazy walk back to your car for like ET or Jurassic Parking at the end of the night.
Oh my god, that's confusing.
And the exit to the gate is all the way on the right side. So you got to walk all the way around. At least they open up those gates at the front at the end of the night now.
Yes.
So you don't got to walk all the way around the security gates anymore. You can walk through where the red carpet is. But oh my gosh.
Right.
And I used to remember when I worked there too. So when you work there, they've got it's the entrance over by the NBC Sports Bar and stuff. That's the employee entrance over there by the Mexican restaurant where the fountain is.
Oh, really?
But employee parking is the Frankenstein lot. So it's a 15-20 minute walk from your car to get into to those gates there, and then to get backstage to wherever you got to do, go to costume or whatever, and then head to your station. And I worked in Transformers, so I would have to not only would I have to be, I'd have to clock in right there at the front gate, and then it's another 15 to 20 minute, cruise down the escalators to get to the Transformers thing. The night ends, and I'm not in my car. I clock out at 9:00. I'm not in my car until at least 9:45.
Wow!
And I better hope that I didn't forget to leave my keys in the office because they will not. They would get mad if you took those keys overnight, man. They were not happy with you.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So you got to, if you forget those, and it's happened to a couple of the engineers there where they're like, oh yeah, I left my keys. I realized I had them on in the car, had to go all the way back around, all the way down, and then come all the way back up. It's just like,
oh man.
But that preferred parking, is it the Woody Woodpecker lot, right? Is what you're talking about? Or are you talking about the like main, like right there next to where Saddle Ranch used to be?
Yeah, where Saddle Ranch used to be.
Yeah, that because that's like legit 10 feet away from the
parking.
Yeah, that's the legit preferred parking. Yeah, it's only $50
if I want to pay $50. I think it's 50 or 65. I don't remember.
Holy cow!
But that's where if I'm gonna spend that much money, that's where I'm gonna park at.
Yeah, you're not
now
wrong.
Toy Story, I'm gonna be on the same bus with everybody else, and not at Knott's, which is like way down over there, parked by homeless.
Yeah,
so it's kind of Universal has it down with the preferred parking.
That's true, because even like Six Flags, their preferred parking is it's at the front of the lot, but you still got to walk 20 minutes to get around to there. I never liked Magic Mountain's parking situation. It's just such a hassle. It's such a long trek up a hill to get to that front entrance. It's like you feel like you really accomplished something just to get into the park. which is kind of nice,
Yeah.
but it's like, oh my gosh, like, and now when I'm done walking around this entire mountain for, 3-4 hours, then I got to walk all the way back to the, and in the summer when it's like 103 degrees, you're like, okay, this is torture.
Yeah.
They run one, they have one shuttle running to and from. You're like, okay, I'm not going to wait in this heat for 20 minutes for the bus to come back. I guess I'm just going to walk.
Might just walk. Yeah.
Although I will say this, Magic Mountain is, I like what they're doing with the solar panels. That's going to provide a lot of shade for the parking. So hopefully that helps a little.
Right.
Because
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Because that whole parking lot being baked in the sun all day is brutal. Jeez.
Out in the open. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so one last thing. We'll just kind of we'll circle back to Knott's real quick.
Okay.
So we've got Camp Snoopy. And that's due to be done by summer. That's what they say.
Right.
So we're expecting maybe June, July, something. And then maybe we hear about Montezuma after that's all done.
Right.
I guess that just kind of determines on when the lawsuit's going to be squared away and all that noise. What do you think is the next project for them?
For Knott's Berry Farm?
For Knott's Berry Farm. They usually do one like land refurb at a time. They just did Fiesta Village, and now they're doing Camp Snoopy. Before that, I believe, was the Boardwalk. I think
it was Boardwalk, right? The prop shop pizza place.
That's right. Yeah, and that's right. I was saying it's going to be a Calico expansion because the park could definitely use some sort of expansion, and they haven't done any kind of refurb to Calico in like 10 years.
Yes, Calico has not been touched.
No.
Maybe look more cowboyish, more old time-ish, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I think what Knott's needs, because they are getting more, because you were there for Knott's Berry Farm. Now, I was there every weekend at the pass. And if you came after 6 p.m. to Knott's Berry Farm, you stood outside for an hour just to get in.
Yep.
And I encountered that one time. What they need is a parking structure. They either take over by the barn where all the spiders are in the trees, or the other one where the Knott's employees park at. Turn that into a parking structure. That way it elevates more space for people to park at. And not having a big hassle of trying to park in the mud, the dirt, leaving your windows cracked open and big giant spiders go in your car, or no parking at all.
Yeah, because it's like an orchard, man. It's weird. It's like an old almond orchard.
It is, and it's the other safety hazard is when people park there at night. Once again, there's no cameras.
Yep,
it's very dim lit.
Yeah,
and you don't really see any security running around. So
nope,
there's like perfect spots for people to be hiding, breaking their cars because it's in the dark.
Yeah, I agree.
Literally in the dark.
Yeah, Knott's parking in general is just such it's in such dire straits, it seems like right now.
It is.
Because it's the same situation on La Palma.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And
I think the only spot they have security is that one big parking lot where they share with the water park. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And that, I mean, they could stand and probably put a parking structure back there too.
Yeah.
And use that land for I don't know. Like I'm looking at just the footprint of the park, like the block that it has, and it's like a quarter of the land that Knott's owns is just a parking lot.
Parking lot, yes.
And
then they can turn that into another portion of Knott's if they add the parking structure over either by the barn side or by the cast and crew parking.
Yep. And
that empties out that whole lot right there, and they can expand onto Knott's into that location.
Yep, I agree. And that's so much room, dude. And look, you've got Six Flags now, so you maybe it's time you kind of show us what you got as far as thrill coasters go. Add something big,
Right.
Again, I'm not a huge thrill coaster guy, but I do appreciate them. I do like to watch them.
Mhm.
I've always been, I've always seen the charm in dark rides, indoor dark rides specifically. And
Right.
that's why I love Disneyland so much, because all their rides were indoor, and
Indoor.
I
Yeah.
like just kind of floating through and watching a story develop. And I always felt like Knott's could use one or
Yeah.
two of those also.
Yeah, I thought
Especially,
they would have throw one in Camp Snoopy. That would have been perfect.
that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for
Yes,
something.
that would have been perfect.
I think what we're getting is okay. It's kind of it'll be a nice little revamp. I would have thought I thought it would have been cool if they could have brought that bridge back that connected the
You think they
waterfall
will?
to. No, I don't
You
think
thi-
they
you-
will. No, I thought it would have
You
been
don't think
cool if
so?
they did.
Right.
But I don't know, because that bridge used to connect to a whole little jungle gym over there, and now they don't have that little jungle gym anymore. I mean, they
Right.
still have the entrance to it over by the restaurant.
Yes.
But they use that
And then
for outdoor restaurant seating now. So I don't know.
right. And then you still have, because the restaurant's closed too.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
I wonder what they're going to do with the restaurant. The restaurant needs more better AC, so they need to fix that.
You're not wrong, man. You
It
are
gets hot
not
in there a
wrong.
lot.
It's a literal oven in that whole restaurant.
It is.
You're not wrong. It's brutal, and it's it's so funny. Like, I was watching them trim down all the trees, where they're putting the Tender Paw coaster in the other day, and it's like, oh man, you can't. Every time I see them get rid of trees in that park, I'm like, no, that's our shade.
It's a
Like, the park
shade.
it gets so hot in the summertime, man. Please don't get rid of our shade. I mean, it's necessary because they have to put that roller coaster in there, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
There are other parts of the park where I was thinking about it also the other day when I was standing in line at the entrance. Speaking of ovens, speaking of places that could use air conditioning, they've got to do something about the heat in that front entrance, man. When you get those lines backed up, and first of all, it's confusing as all hell with all those box office that stand there that
Right.
don't get used.
Oh,
I mean,
talking about the front entrance, can I cut you off real quick? Or
yeah, go for it.
there's rumors that that's going to be the next renovation, the front entrance.
And
So
that would be
the box office, everything's going to be combined into one with the customer service. You know how you have that empty building to the left as soon as you enter in? That's
Yeah.
going to be the customer service. Like, everything's going to be all one piece.
Okay, that's probably for the better.
Yeah.
That would
We're
probably
supposed
help
to
a
redo
lot.
the whole front section. That's what I heard. I'm not too sure if that's true or not. I just got a smiley face, but I know one of the a few people are not the big heads. They hit me up sometimes, and they like to play games. So I asked them about that. They leave me a happy face emote, the same happy face emote they sent me for Camp Snoopy being knocked down. So I was like, okay, so I guess that might be true. It might not be true. I don't know.
They're just messing with you, man. Just messing with you.
But they need it though. If they redid the whole front entrance of Knott's Berry Farm and added those, like you said, those box tickets in the front, it is kind of confusing. So you combine everything together, and that building to the left, it's like where the customer members go and take their break. You turn that into your customer service where you go get your little badges or you want to go buy stuff. That'd be perfect. That's like you combine all to one.
Yeah. And I mean, and Magic Mountain just did that. They just took all their box offices out. They left 2 on the sides, but now that whole entryway is wide open.
Really?
And yeah. Oh yeah. And so, and I think I feel like Knott's should do that as well, because they don't use all those box offices. You can leave maybe 1 or 2 on the end, or just do it all where the guest services is supposed to move right there.
Right on the side. That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And keeping that, and then since it's so wide open, maybe you put some trees in, throughout the spots for shade or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just thinking out loud, but in the
I
morning
think
that you bake
getting rid of those. Yeah, I think getting rid of those box offices would be perfect, because people won't get confused with the lines being cut off and everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have that one van store that no one really goes into.
Yeah.
As soon as you enter in. It's true.
I forget
it's like
that's
it's
there sometimes.
But it's like, and sometimes it's closed.
Yeah.
And I remember during COVID, that's the entrance they use for when they get your whole heat sensor, your whole body thing, and everything else. So you don't have to wear a mask. So I mean, they can use that too for maybe like the booth where you set your tickets or whatever else. They combine all that for guest services and so forth. Even maybe expand their locker room that's out there, because they do have that locker section,
Yeah,
but it's
that's
not
true.
as big. They can expand the lockers for that as well.
Yeah, and if you move the guest services up to the front instead of back there in that corner, yeah, maybe you can expand the lockers over that way more. That would help a lot.
And that also eliminates a big giant line that goes all the way to like the entrance of Ghost Rider.
Dude, did you see it during Mary Farm? Some parts of Mary Farm, it went past the entrance to Calico. It was at Sutter's.
Yes, it was like long. I was just like, wait, what?
It's like you're standing in this 3-hour line so you can get a pass to not stand in lines. I want you to tell me what the definition of irony is here. It's crazy. I mean, I get it, but I feel like that, and that's been another issue with Knott's that a lot of people have pointed out that hasn't seemed to really be. Look, I know we got to do one thing at a time here, but that seems to have been a problem for a little while, and I do hope that they address it eventually, because I really don't like it when people get upset about things that Knott's does, and I know Knott's operations aren't the best in the world, but
they're getting there.
They're getting there, and the good news about that is that's an easy fix. That's just training and maneuvering. That's all that is. And I think that's something that they can do simultaneously. They can do that while they're doing all of these park renovations and stuff. So that's kind of cool.
So it'll get there. Just like how Fiesta Village was pretty much non-existent for Knott's Scary Farm.
Yeah,
that was the only area you had nothing. It's just like, okay, wait a minute, huh? It's like the safe zone or something.
Yeah, where's the Fiesta in this village?
The only good thing was that little Easter egg was Jaguar and and alcohol.
Yeah, and alcohol.
And tacos that are not on the meal plan, which I don't understand why not.
I don't know. We got fake Chipotle there now, so that's good.
We do. Yeah, I don't like that fake Chipotle. Yeah.
No, a lot of people don't really like that. He's always busy, though. I don't mind it. It's fine. I don't eat there all the time, though.
It's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, small things here and there that go along with the big things that can kind of help.
What do you think is going to be next? The next project?
I think it's going to be Calico. I think they're going to
Calico.
So this is a big hot take. A lot of people have said it, whatever. But I really feel like it's time to expand Calico past through the Gold Rush Trail, the Gold Mine Trail, all along Ghost Rider there. That's only open for like special occasions, based Boysenberry Festival, Scary Farm, and Mary Farm.
Okay.
I kind of feel like it's time to expand it there. You can't really put anything in other than facade and I mean, you have plenty of room for booths and stuff. And I don't know, maybe where Waxworks is, you turn that into something year round. And then move the maze stuff. I mean, I have the way that my brain works as far as like ideas that I think Knott's should really start to consider as far as expansions to the park in that whole backstage area that they don't use very often. I mean, they do use it. It's all like wardrobe and training and their warehouses back there and stuff. I've always felt that all that stuff should be moved across the street somewhere to La Palma or something. And that park should be moved all the way as far as they can to that south lot and just use that whole park. Because that's where they were originally when we got that that fake news about the Giga Coaster.
Oh, the Giga Coaster, yeah.
Yeah, they were supposed to. The rumor was they were going to expand Ghost Town, and it was going to be basically where the Mystery Lodge is. I guess that's where the entrance to it was going to be, like the loading dock, and it was going to basically run around through that whole through the parking lot, the south lot there where the hotel is, around the hotel, and then across like down beach and then back again. And ever since then, I was like, yeah, maybe they should be utilizing this a little bit more.
They do. They have that lot back there. That's another lot that they can utilize.
Yeah.
and expand.
And I feel like the first step to that might be just expanding Ghost Town that way and just use that part of the park year round. You don't have to put anything crazy in there right now, but maybe that shows, maybe that's the first, that's the toe into the shallow end. That's just dipping your toe in the water, feeling the temperature. I think that would get people excited to be like, okay, these guys are willing. It looks like they're heading in the direction where they might want to start growing the park a little bit rather than just kind of repainting stuff.
That makes sense because you connect Ghost Rider to Calico.
And it should be. That's the whole theme of Ghost Rider. And especially if you want to put something big in there, because people aren't going to get off their backs about any kind of hyper or giga until they put something there. Especially since they had the rumor, and now that they're part owners with Six Flags, who's like famous for these kind of things.
Right.
It's
you can throw giga over at Six Flags.
100%. Yeah. Or they might with the Golden Bear Theater going down. That might be a giga there. That's the hot rumor now, is they might be putting a giga there. And if they put a giga there, then people are going to be like, okay, well, what does Knott's get now? Well, Knott's gets Happy Swing at Camp Snoopy. That's what Knott's gets. They get the Tender Paw family coaster. So suck it, Knott's. Deal with your family, your family world for a while. I think it's only a matter of time, man. I really do. I think Knott's has a lot of potential. There's a lot of unused and untapped territory in that whole area surrounding it and within it that I think with the right little nudge, I think they've got. I think they're going to do it. I think a 10-year plan would be something that would be exciting to hear. I try to keep tabs on the Cedar Fair news site, just to kind of see. It's a lot of it's really just money. They just talk about earnings and whatever, but that's that can be kind of telltale because you can see where they're losing money, where they're gaining money. Like, how did last year compare to this year? And do they have the financial room to maybe add something? I don't know.
Right.
Just my brain spins a million miles an hour with this stuff.
But they've been doing a good job of keeping their themes together. Like, you got Fiesta Village, you got the Boardwalk, you have Calico, you have Camp Snoopy. The only things that are kind of off is like, well, I always call it Bigfoot Rapids. I know it's Calico Rapids, but it's always going to be Bigfoot Rapids. You have Bigfoot Rapids, and then you have that little shop right next to it, the Mystery Lodge shop. Those are kind of things that are kind of like off. Like, okay, well, what theme is this? It's like, I don't know. It's like the leftover ride theme section over here, because that's all there is.
Especially with Pony Express back there, which is supposed to kind of connect with Calico.
Calico, yeah.
Yeah, it is weird because it's supposed to be kind of like a explorer kind of, you venture out of the ghost town and into the woods kind of a thing. But yeah, you're right. There's nothing there. It's just, here's a water ride for you. Just enjoy this. There's Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's Bigfoot Rapids. But it's funny too. Just to jump parks here real quick. Here's a question I asked last year before Splash Mountain closed down at Disneyland. The way they have the new Tiana ride opening, Splash Mountain, that's part of New Orleans. So that means that leaves a little section of the pool ride, and you have the
Critter Country,
Bear Country.
Yeah.
So all you have is a restaurant and pool ride. That makes no sense. So is that going to be part of New Orleans? Because the section is so small, and as soon as you get off the ride, they already took away half a pool store, and they're making that to a Tiana store for a gift shop.
Oh, really?
So what is that? Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So half of it's closed. So you had like a little small section of the Pooh Bear store. You can buy your snacks, whatever else. It's not as big as it was before. So that half of it got closed off, which I knew was going to happen because there's no way they're going to make a ride and there's no gift shop. They're going to make you come out and you're going to throw the gifts in your face. What
about the Splash Mountain gift shop, the one that's over kind of in the corner, like across from the Hungry Bear?
That's there, but it's more of like hats.
Oh, okay.
But that's closed down too. That's also closed too.
Yeah, and I thought that was what they were going to turn into, the gift shop for Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
No, the half of the Pooh Bear, it's not as big. They cut it in half because they're working on one side of it. But
Wow.
where's Bear Country, or where's Critter Country? Is Critter Country just near the pool and Hungry Bear restaurant? That makes no sense.
Maybe that's what happens next. Maybe
Right?
they turn it into another Princess and the Frog themed dark ride. Just just kind of reskin everything.
That's why it's weird, because you have like Splash Mountain never really matched with New Orleans, but now this whole Tiana thing actually goes with New Orleans theme with Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
But now you have Critter Country just got shrunk, and all it is. I don't know why Pooh Bear's in Critter Country. That makes no sense, but he belongs in Fantasyland.
Yeah.
That makes more sense, or even like Toontown or something. But
yeah,
and then you have the restaurant, which the Bear restaurant there. The foods are actually they actually have large portions of food. So
that's where we used to eat all the time when we would go there. We would always go to the Hungry Bear.
Yeah, Hungry Bear is actually a really good place to eat at.
Yeah,
because the portions are like the Knott's Berry Farm large portions. And that's, or you're gonna get that there, Hungry.
It's nice, kind of like off the river. It's never really super crowded up there.
No, it's not.
And it's
shaded.
It's not super pricey either.
No, it's
which kind of helps.
No. Yeah,
especially when I'm paying for 2 kids' food. Also, that always helps in my decision making.
And plus, you have like the views, like you said. You're right off the lake, and you see the 2 boats go by.
Yep.
The Columbus, and you see the other one. You see the people in the rowboats, and you see the train passing by right next to you.
Yep.
And in the distance, you can see Galaxy's Edge, which is actually pretty cool.
Which is awesome now. Yeah. And it was fun to do when they would run Phantasmic. So you could see like all the boats that they that were like staging to run for the show. Like they would always come along the side, so we can see that riding up, and they're like getting ready to perform, before they go in front of the island for the actual show.
Right.
That was always fun too. You could see the pirate ship and stuff like that. And the kids like that.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's like, but it's like we're talking about themes. That's kind of like made me think of that one. 'Cause I always thought about that one. No one's talking about it. It's like, okay, everybody keeps talking about Tiana, but it's like, what about Critter Country? I know
that's true.
In Florida, their Critter Country got expanded. It got bigger.
Really?
But our country, because that whole Bear Jamboree got redone, and they're adding a little more stuff over there for it.
Mm-hmm.
And ours got shrunk.
That's crazy. Yeah, ours is pretty much non-existent now. We have Pooh Bear. That's it.
Pooh Bear.
It's not even Critter anymore. It's just Pooh Country.
Pooh Country and Hungry Bear.
Pooh Country, that's it. Man, and that's not something that you can really you can't really move that. Just move the Pooh ride somewhere, because that's kind of it's a big ride. Like not big, but it's like a long ride. So if they reskinned it, you can't delete Winnie the Pooh from the park, right? Like that's a big IP. That's a big part of Disney's past, and that's kind of what Disneyland celebrates.
Take down, like they put them in Captain Neo or in that area over there somewhere. No, that's Tomorrowland. I don't know where they would stick them at.
I don't know. Yeah, because they can't put them in Fantasyland. There's no room.
No.
Gosh, or even Toontown. I mean, unless you expand Toontown again, but I don't know where you're going to expand it to, because you got Galaxy's Edge on one side now, and then they just built like new corporate buildings behind the other side of Toontown. So I don't know. Yeah, the options are just leave it or can it. Man, that's brutal. Because the kids love that ride too, and that's a good ride to escape heat, because it gets nice and cool in there, and
nice and cold. Yeah, it is. That is true.
Yeah,
that is so true.
That's
now here's a big question.
Mm-hmm.
With inflation, food prices going up, minimum wage for fast food workers going up, and in 2 months, where I work at, everyone's gonna be getting paid $20. So off my crew, I'm probably have to. I already got rid of my drivers because we're now exclusive to DoorDash because of the price going up. What do you think Knott's is going to do with their meal plans? Are they going to keep it the same? Are they going to smaller the portions? Are they going to limit the restaurants that you can get food at because of the price increase?
That's a good question, actually, and that's something that every year, when I'm about to renew the annual pass, I'm waiting for the price jump. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm waiting for them to, to catch up with the rest of the world with inflation. I think right now they're actually being pretty creative with everything. With the change in park hours, they eliminate that first hour, and that cuts costs. As far as having to bring in a second shift for employees, they only have to do one shift now during the weeks. They are, I'm sure. I mean, obviously, with your pulled pork cone, they are limiting portions. But I do feel like, see, well, I know we praised. Go ahead.
Oh, it wasn't too long ago when the fireman barbecue place, their portions got smaller.
I was just going to say that.
The choice, yeah.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. Well, like they can afford to give you 100 billion plates of French fries, and that's kind of, I feel like that's how they're making up for it. Everything comes with French fries now, and they're not afraid to dump all those on the plate because French fries are cheap. But like when it comes to stuff like that, when it comes to like, the barbecue, even the boardwalk barbecue now, the portions are smaller and they're noticeably smaller. And I think that's kind of how they're doing it. To a lot of people's chagrin, but what are you going to do? I'd rather honestly, and this is just fat me talking. I'd rather have my portions cut for me than pay more. Because look, bottom line is, dude, this stuff is, it's pennies on the dollar what we pay for the privileges that we get at Knott's Berry Farm. So I think
that's true.
Anything we get is should be praised. Because I think they do a great job with how they do it. And not having to raise prices is nice.
And I'm very grateful that they do that because Disney doesn't have a meal plan. Right. Universal doesn't have a meal plan. I think Six Flags still has theirs.
They do, but it ain't great. It's theme park food. It's a hot dog and a hamburger.
Is that what it is?
Pretty much.
I never had the meal plan there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, well, okay, so we went to a taco place last time. They have a taco place at the Underground, which actually was really good. I'm not going to lie. And their portions were freaking gigantic.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know how Six Flags stays open. I really don't, because we pay beans for those annual passes and those meal plans.
Right.
I'm assuming it's because they're only open, like right now, they're only open half the week. They're closed Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And Mondays, a lot of Mondays too. So that's another, and I really would hate for Knott's. I don't think Knott's is going to take that route. I don't think they're ever going to just be because they kind of pride themselves on being open every day except Thanksgiving and Christmas. Right. But I think I think that where they're at now is this change in the hours is kind of where they're compromising. Instead of closing for a full day, I think
where you get a half day.
Yeah, exactly. But you still get 7 days a week,
Yes.
And that's
not all food restaurants are open. Not all funnel cakes are open, but a good amount of the stuff is open. Half the stuff is open. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
and
the train would also not run on weekdays. I remember that. It only ran on weekends, which I think they did a smart job with the whole bandits on foot.
I think that's great. I think it's fantastic.
Because you utilize your actors.
And that's something that Knott's
just standing there.
Yeah, exactly. And people were kind of clamoring for like at least some sort of show-ish sort of style thing going on, some sort of an interactivity. And I think maybe we're spoiled with Ghost Town Alive with that, how immersive that whole thing is. But people have been kind of wanting that, not exactly the whole stunt show, but like remember they had the old gunfights and stuff.
Oh, the gunfights on the roof, yeah.
Yeah, like they used to do all those, and people have been wanting that. And this is the next best thing, I kind of hope they don't take this away when they bring the train back in March.
Oh, that's right. But I remember they had the shootouts, and then when 2 years ago, when the shootout happened, all the fights happened, they took it away because they don't want the guests to get frightened. They hear gunfire and people start panicking and
people
running.
were freaking out. Yeah, that's why they took
so I remember they took it away. Yeah,
but you don't really need gunfights. That's fine. I mean, yeah, it would be nice because it's the Wild West, and that's how disputes were settled back then. But I mean, just an old fashioned fisticuffs, that could be fun too.
Yes.
They do that in Ghost Town Alive, one of the shows. They have like a little rooftop fight scene.
The bank
from the bank.
Yes,
yeah.
Right.
So, just do something like that. It could be fun. Why not?
Oh, definitely.
You know, your actors are all trained. They'll be fine. You know, just, just a little
That's
something
true.
just to keep people engaged.
One thing I think Knott's should also do, since the Fireman Barbecue Brigade is very popular, the line gets very long. You get past the barn sometimes.
Mhm.
I think they should, you know, that little souvenir shop across the way where you go buy like knives and guns and whatever else.
Yeah.
They get that out, put the fireman shop in there. You can have indoor seating, outdoor seating, and that opens up that little middle section. Just make it to more benches where people can sit and eat.
That's not a bad idea. That's true
Because
because they have
a shop. I don't see anybody go in there.
no. It's you're right. Nobody ever goes in there. And whatever you know, what you can actually do is you can actually just move that over to the museum, and just kind of get out some of the stuff in the museum, and then just make it a museum and little gift shop. Because half the stuff they have in that little gun and knife shop is like old knives, and they're like memorabilia anyway.
Yes.
So you can kind of combine that whole thing, throw that over in Ghost Town, and yeah, you have all that space there. And if you need to combine over into the whatever that building is next to it, not Sarah Marshall's cabin, but to the right, if you're facing it. So I don't remember if that's the doctor's office or whatever that is there.
Yeah, doctor's office, like a little toy shop or
yeah, you
whatever.
Can use that too.
Yeah.
You can keep the facade, just put the kitchen back there or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and you have easy access to the backside where you're not carting carts across the way.
Yep.
It eliminates the lines. You have more seating area for people to come and eat.
Yeah, that would be cool too. That's not a bad idea, man. Just ways to increase efficiency, you know, kind of. It sucks to say it, but you got to trim the fat sometimes, you know.
Yeah, it keeps the flow going. You take away that big giant line. Mm-hmm. Same thing with customer service or guest services over by Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
you throw that in the front, and the long lines will be outside before you get in the park.
Yep.
So that way you're not having that big giant line blocking the bakery and anything else over there.
Yeah, and the lockers, like it kind of prevents people from going to the lockers too, because they see that giant group of people over there and they're like, well, I ain't trying that.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Not speaking for everybody. That's just how I talk. That's how I think.
No, it's true. Because you see that big line, you're like, oh, okay. What's the line for? The line for guest services? It's for the lockers?
Yeah. Is it for the bakery? Like, I don't know.
No. Right. It's a very long line. That's some things they need to fix. Yeah. But I think with the whole peanut celebration, they should have added a show in the old time theater, and that would eliminate some of the crowds and keep that crowd flow going. Yeah. So people are not just waiting online for rides and food, and there's not really much entertainment. You only have like 3 shows.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And that's it.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of a shame that they only use that half the year.
I know. Yeah, it's like twice. Merry Farm and Not Scary Farm.
Yeah, that's it. And then the rest of the year, like not even during the summer, like when people want to escape the heat, you can't think of something you can put in there. You know, just something. Pump it up back in there. Whatever. I don't know. Just throw a bunch of disclaimers on there. Pump It Up can play at 7 and 9. There you go. 2 shows nightly.
2 shows. Yeah.
At night.
Exactly. And they'll like eliminate some of the crowds. Let's take some of the crowds out from everywhere else. And
yeah.
But right now it's so crowded because it's the place to go. And Disney's too expensive.
Yep.
And you have reservations, and it's a family environment. Once again, it's safe to go back, and it's cheap. It's not that expensive. And then they had that bundle pack over the weekend. So man. I think a lot of people took advantage of that.
A lot of people took advantage of that, man. And it's good. And then when the hotel's done, I'm sure they're going to have a bunch of promo packs for that. So there's going to be people staying there. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty solid 2024 for Nods.
Have you ever stood at the hotel?
I have not yet. This year will be probably going to stay a couple times this year.
Okay.
But I've not stayed there
here's
yet.
The question. I always ask everybody this question. There's a theme park like literally right down the street from Knott's Berry Farm. I think it's called Adventureland. Yeah. Have you been there yet?
Dude, you know what's so funny? So there's also batting cages right down the street from Knott's Berry Farm, and that's where I take my kids to go practice hitting. We just went tonight. Okay. We just went there tonight before I went to the dinner, and as we were leaving that, I said, "Did you know that there's a little park over here called Adventureland?" and I've never been to it because it's never open on weekdays. That's the only time I
I've never
can
been
go.
there either.
Well, so
I
okay, so
don't.
Andrea took Jackson. She said it's just like it's basically Castle Park for 11 and under.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
small ride for small youngsters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just for kids. Like it's
Now,
for
is it a
small
hotel
kids.
back there, or is it just a park with arcade or
Yeah,
miniature
it's a
golf?
park with an arcade. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's not like an actual like a mini resort or anything. It's like squeezed
Ah,
between like a retirement home and something else.
right. Like if you drive by, you're not going to notice it.
Nope.
And I've seen that a
You
few
have to know
times.
it's
I'm like,
there.
what is that? I think a
Yeah.
roller coaster. I was like, what is the thing?
Yeah.
And someone said, oh, that's Adventureland. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
Adventureland.
okay.
It's like
I
family
don't see any
owned.
videos on it. That's why I'm kind of wondering.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been. And now all the kids
Oh,
are
okay.
too old. We got one on the way. So I got to wait for her to be old enough, to start riding the little
go.
rides. And then maybe I take her, but I have to go.
Right.
It's something that I have to do. I have to do everything down here. That's just how I am. I get bad FOMO. I don't want that getting the best of me. I will go to Adventureland
So here's a
eventually.
question. It is a big question. What got you into YouTube?
Okay, so I started doing it in like 2021, and I just wanted it to be like, I wanted it to be like and this was like COVID was not really winding down. This was before like the dreaded
Still in
like
the deep of it.
the dark winter, yeah. And I
When stuff
kind of
was starting
wanted
to open
to,
up again.
yeah. And I was always taking Kinley and Jensen to places. We would get cooped up and we'd be like, no, we got to go do something. So we would always find places. So I thought, why don't I vlog this stuff and see if anybody is interested in it at all? So it started as just taking the kids and being like, so we went here and we went here and we went here. And these are things that you can do in, Southern California if you run out of ideas. And that's just kind of how it started. And then I started taking the kids to Disneyland all the time, and then Disneyland shut down. Disneyland kind of turned a weird after COVID. Disneyland got kind of crazy when we redid our Magic Keys. It just felt weird. We went there a few times and we were like, it feels like the magic just isn't really here. Like it was just like a headache of the reservation system. The trams weren't running yet, so we'd have to park and then walk to the park, and it was just kind of the kids weren't really digging it too much. So we got Knott's Berry Farm passes and we started just going there all the time, and the kids just fell in love with it. We went to Soak City and and it was just something that like I was like, okay, but I'm doing this all the time. And the kids were over it. They were done with the YouTube thing. They were like, I just want to go to the park and have fun. So I have always really I've always been kind of fascinated with theme park vloggers. Ever since I started going back to Disneyland in like 2015, I got really into Fresh Baked and really into Five Fires. And I was watching them all the time for theme park, like tips and things. And I was like, I enjoy this. And then I just kind of caught the bug. And I was like, well, I'm already coming to the park all the time anyway. Why don't I just start vlogging it myself? And then I can kind of shine my own light on people. And it's just something that I don't expect anything out of it. I just enjoy doing it. I really like, I like video editing. And this is just kind of a perk on top of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's just, and it's something I get to combine my love for theme parks and my love for video editing and my love for vlogging all together.
Right.
So kind of best of all three worlds.
Okay. You seem pretty comfortable talking to the camera.
Yeah. I mean, I am a little, I do still feel a little bit awkward doing it. But I'm getting more comfortable as time goes. I'm still very new at it. And it's still, I still feel, this sounds weird. I don't like being seen. I don't like people noticing me. I don't want to feel like I'm in anybody's way ever. So if you'll notice all of my vlogs, I'm always kind of like talking really quiet. Like if there's somebody off to the side or something. or I'm like behind a crowd of people. Like, I don't want to be all up in anybody's business or anything. I don't want to step on any of the park's toes or anything. I don't want to feel like I'm breaking any rules or anything like that.
Right.
But I'm getting, like I said, I'm getting a little bit more comfortable at it.
Right. No, I feel you. Same here, which is why I always vlog with a phone.
Yeah.
People always ask, well, "Where's your camera?" I say, "Right here, my phone." So no, where's your camera? Well, right here, my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I go like into like malls or different places, like really crowded, I just put my phone out. I can throw my phone back away.
Yep.
Like no one knows what I'm doing, and it doesn't make any. I have a big giant camera with a rotary with steady cam and sliding gear. Like just a phone.
Yeah, dude. I see some of those guys walking around with that stuff, and I'm like, dude, I can't just have to carry that around all day.
Crazy. There's a few people who just do that just for show, and they don't make any well, they make content, but it's not like if you're going to carry that, then your channel should be bringing some revenue to support that. And there's a lot of them that don't. So you went out and spent all this money on that, thinking because you have the best camera, you're going to have everyone going to come watch you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a theme park. You're not doing any race cars. You're not doing any action scenes. You're not running, doing anything. You just walk around the camera.
Yeah.
Like any iPhone, any nice phone right now, it's going to capture almost the same, or a ZV-1 camera is going to capture the same format. What you're doing, you're not doing anything other than talking to a camera.
Yep.
Do you really need to be in 8K talking to a camera? People who watch you don't even have 8K TVs. So
true, dude. It's true.
Timmy down the street, he probably doesn't have a 4K TV. He has a 1080p TV, and I don't think he cares. You're shooting in 8K, this and that.
Yep, it's true, dude. I had Andrea got me the Pocket 3 for Christmas.
Okay.
And so the only reason why I really got this was because I saw the footage of low light.
Yes.
And I like doing a lot of stuff for Halloween and a lot of stuff at night for Christmas, and that's always been an issue with me, as I've always felt like my phone, because I got not the steadiest of hands. So when I'm holding my phone out, and it's kind of doing that, and it's noticeable because at the lower light, it's a lower frame rate, so it gets that jitter, and that always bothered me. So she's like, well, let me get this for you for Christmas, and you'll probably like it more. And sure enough, dude, it makes a world of difference, man. I love it to death. And it's a clean 4K, and it's not very big. It's tiny. So like you said, I can just pull it out and just do this real quick and talk, and it picks up all my voice and just put it away.
Yes.
It's incognitus.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the perfect camera for dark rides.
Yep.
The horror nights. You're gonna capture everything in the fun houses and the Christmas lights and events that went on.
It's perfect.
It is.
It's perfect for all that stuff. I love it. Perfect. I love it.
A friend of mine, Wicked Journeys, he picked the one up for Gary Farm, and his footage he got was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I like it. Yes,
that's I haven't seen any of his Scary
Farm stuff. And then it locks on you too. The camera moves around when you're walking around and keeps you in focus. That's the camera.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's nice to have a camera and a gimbal, and it's like I said, it's a clean 4K.
Yes, and a gimbal. You can run with it. The smooth shots you get with it. Oh yeah.
And it shoots 120 FPS 4K, which is nice because my phone can't do that. So I can't shoot slow-mo on my phone in 4K. I can only do it in 1080p, which is still good. It's still fine.
It is.
I do a lot of weird zooming and stuff in my videos. And so if I'm shooting in 4K, the zoomed up shot looks a little less grainy. So it's I bounce everything into 1080p. I don't bounce anything to 4K just because I don't need all of that space eaten up on my laptop. And like you said, nobody watches it. They're all watching it on their phones and stuff. Nobody's watching it on 4K. So that's give them a clean 4K video resolution on a 1080p screen. Good enough. That's how that works. Crash, listen, man, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for doing this, dude. And this went way longer than I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to bore you after like 30 minutes, but this has been
I
freaking
love
great.
talking theme parks, man.
Thank you so much for meeting up with me. I know it's late and everything, man, and I really do appreciate you doing this. And
I'm off tomorrow, so I'm good. So I'm
perfect.
I'm hooked on coffee too. So
perfect. That works perfectly. Well, again, man, I very much appreciate this, and look forward to maybe doing something in the future as well. Maybe we meet up again and we do this again, or we meet up at a park or do something.
Absolutely.
You know,
there's always other things to talk about. You know, theme parks, gear, camera gear, movies,
everything.
new additions
Life.
to Disney has a new edition. You never done that new edition.
So,
oh, definitely, sir.
Always plenty of stuff. You want to you want to do your socials and stuff one more time?
So you can catch me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, all the same name, THECRASHZ3RO. I keep everything all the same.
With a three and the 0, right? A 3 and the 0. Z3RO. Yeah.
Yes.
THECRASHZ3RO.
So I post a lot of my shorts on TikTok and Instagram, and YouTube is my longer content, and Twitch I do a lot of my gaming with a lot of subscribers. So
what are you playing right now? Is it still Call of Duty?
Call of Duty, Minecraft, and Fortnite.
Nice. I think my oldest son watches your Fortnite stuff. I mean, he watches a lot of Fortnite stuff. So yeah, that's his big thing. It's Fortnite. Jackson's all about Fortnite. All right, brother. Well, I'm gonna let you.
Thank you for having me on. I
say it again one more time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me onto the podcast. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Let's do it again. We'll do it again sometime soon.
Yes, absolutely. Just let me know.
All right, man. Sounds good.
All right.
You have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, talk to you later. All right, bye.
THECRASHZ3RO, good dude. I know this was a long one. I've never gone this long. If you're still here, thank you so much for sticking around. I very much appreciate it, and we will catch you all in the parks and on the flippity flop.